On March 11, 2011, a routine trip to Walgreens became the scene of a deadly love triangle that would destroy 3 families forever. Security cameras captured a husband arriving in search of his cheating wife. Minutes later, 3 gunshots echoed through the parking lot. When the smoke cleared, a promising young attorney lay dead, and the man who pulled the trigger claimed he couldn't remember a thing. This is the story of how a secret affair led to murder in broad daylight. Emmett Corrigan seemed to have it all. At just 30 years old, this charismatic attorney had recently opened his own law practice in the quiet suburb of Meridian, Idaho. He was living the American dream: a successful career, a beautiful wife, and a growing family. Emmett had met his college sweetheart Ashlee at Utah State University in 2003. Their romance was swift and passionate. After meeting at the student gym, they were married within 6 months. Their love story continued to blossom as they welcomed 4 children in quick succession: twin girls, followed by another daughter and a son. In 2010, Ashlee was pregnant with their 5th child. From the outside, the Corrigans appeared to be the perfect Mormon family. Ashlee devoted herself to raising their children in the faith, while Emmett pursued his legal ambitions with determination. Neighbors described them as the kind of couple you'd see in a Norman Rockwell painting. But beneath this picture-perfect facade, cracks were beginning to show. By late 2010, Ashlee noticed disturbing changes in her husband. Emmett, once warm and engaged, became distant and irritable. He spent increasingly long hours at the office or the gym. Their young children began asking their mother if Daddy still lived with them. The man she married was slowly disappearing before her eyes. Desperate to save her marriage, Ashlee even attended counseling sessions alone, begging Emmett to join her. She sensed another woman was involved, but Emmett's reassurances left her questioning her own instincts. She had no idea that her worst fears were about to become reality. March 11, 2011 began like any other day, but would end in unimaginable tragedy. That evening, the Corrigan household was filled with tension. Ashlee, desperate to save her crumbling marriage, pleaded with Emmett to attend counseling. But instead of the loving husband she once knew, she was met with cold rage. "You're crazy," Emmett snapped at his pregnant wife. The argument escalated quickly. When Ashlee mentioned that her family was praying for them, Emmett's response was chilling. "Your family? I hate your family. I could beat your brother up. I could kill all of you." In a final, desperate attempt to reach him, Ashlee embraced her husband. "I love you. I'm not going anywhere. I don't care what it is. Just tell me what's happening." But Emmett had already checked out. He stormed from the house claiming he was going to Walgreens. What Ashlee didn't know was that across town, another marriage was imploding. Rob Hall had just discovered his wife Kandi's dark secret. He had caught her texting another man, Emmett Corrigan, her boss at the law firm where she worked as a paralegal. The confrontation was explosive. Kandi, caught red-handed, also fled the house, using the same excuse as her lover. She needed to go to Walgreens. Security footage would later reveal the tragic choreography that followed. Kandi arrived first, abandoning her car in the parking lot before climbing into Emmett's pickup truck. They drove to a secluded subdivision nearby, where they had sex in his vehicle, even as both their marriages burned to the ground. But their secret rendezvous was interrupted by a phone call that would seal Emmett's fate. Kandi's teenage daughter had spotted her mother's abandoned car at Walgreens and called to ask where she was. Worse yet, the daughter had already told her father about seeing the car. Meanwhile, Rob Hall was racing through the night, his mind consumed with images of betrayal. Security cameras captured him arriving at Walgreens, searching the store for his cheating wife. When he didn't find her, he called Kandi's phone. "Are you with Emmett?" Rob demanded. Kandi confirmed she was with her boss, but then Emmett took the phone. His words were taunting, almost provocative. "Yeah, "What's up, Chief?" "Yeah, wait right there. We'll be right there." "You wait right there." Rather than flee, Emmett was driving straight into a confrontation that would cost him his life. When police arrived at the Walgreens parking lot, they found a scene of devastating violence. Emmett Corrigan lay dead, shot once in the head and once in the heart. Rob Hall was wounded, bleeding from a gunshot to his head but still alive. Kandi Hall, covered in her lover's blood, was hysterical. Her 911 call captured the chaos. "Oh my God. Oh my God, Robert, 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 Robert." The initial investigation seemed straightforward. A husband discovers his wife's affair, confronts her lover, and in a fit of rage, commits murder. Rob Hall was quickly charged with first-degree murder with premeditation. But Rob's story was puzzling. He claimed to have no memory of the shooting, a convenient amnesia that investigators found suspicious. Had this been a calculated execution or something more complicated? The forensic evidence painted a clear picture. Gunshot residue was found only on Rob's hands, and his DNA was the only DNA found on the trigger of the weapon. It seemed like an open and shut case, but as the investigation deepened, disturbing details emerged that complicated the narrative. Police discovered amphetamine and steroid pills in Emmett's truck, suggesting the young attorney may have been using performance-enhancing drugs. Rob's defense team seized on this evidence, painting Emmett as an unstable, drug-fueled aggressor who had attacked their client. They argued that Emmett, in a steroid-induced rage, had charged at Rob first. According to their theory, Rob had drawn his gun in self-defense, but Emmett managed to grab it and shoot Rob in the head. Only then did Rob regain control and shoot Emmett twice. The defense's star witness was supposed to be Kandi Hall herself, but as she took the stand to defend her husband, prosecutors noticed something troubling. Her story kept changing. Each time Kandi recounted the events of that night, crucial details shifted. Her credibility crumbled under cross-examination, leading the judge to make a stunning declaration. He had never seen a witness so thoroughly discredited. Despite the defense's attempts to muddy the waters, the prosecution's case was built on cold, hard science. The forensic evidence was damning. Not only was Rob the only person with gunshot residue on his hands, but the blood spatter patterns and bullet trajectories told a different story than his self-defense claims. Prosecutors revealed their theory. Rob Hall had arrived at Walgreens with murder on his mind. After shooting Emmett twice, once in the head, once in the heart, Rob had turned the gun on himself in a botched suicide attempt. The third bullet had only grazed his skull, leaving him alive but wounded. This explained the head wound that Rob claimed came from struggling with Emmett. It wasn't defensive, it was self-inflicted. Prosecutor Jason Spillman laid out the state's case with chilling clarity. Robert Hall went to the Walgreens in order to confront Emmett Corrigan, that he took a loaded gun, and Rob decided that was his opportunity to get his Kandi back by killing Emmett. In 2012, after hearing all the evidence, the jury reached their verdict. Rob Hall was found guilty, not of first-degree murder as originally charged, but of second-degree murder. The distinction was crucial. While the jury believed Rob had killed Emmett intentionally, they weren't convinced the murder was premeditated. Perhaps it was a crime of passion rather than a calculated execution. Rob Hall was sentenced to 30 years in prison, eligible for parole in 2028. To this day, he maintains he has no memory of pulling the trigger that ended Emmett Corrigan's life. But the justice system had delivered its verdict. A young father and promising attorney was dead because of a moment of deadly jealousy. The aftermath of that deadly night in the Walgreens parking lot rippled through multiple families for years to come. Kandi Hall's troubles were far from over. 2 months after her lover's murder, she was arrested for embezzling $30,000 from her previous law firm. the very job she'd lost before going to work for Emmett. She served 18 months in prison, carrying the guilt of her role in the tragedy. "It makes me sick how I could do something like that," she later confessed. The affair that was supposed to boost her ego had instead destroyed everything she held dear. But perhaps the most remarkable story belongs to Ashlee Corrigan. On the same night she lost her husband, she discovered his betrayal. The ultimate humiliation, as she called it, could have destroyed her. Instead, she found the strength to forgive, not just Emmett, but even Rob and Kandi Hall. Ashlee has since remarried and become an advocate for trauma victims, using her story to encourage others to put your family first. The case serves as a chilling reminder that beneath the surface of seemingly perfect lives, deadly secrets can lurk. In a single moment of rage, Rob Hall destroyed not just Emmett Corrigan's future, but the futures of everyone connected to that fateful night. Some say love is worth dying for. In this case, it was worth killing for, and that made all the difference.